Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the Isupk like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the Isupk. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And you know what time it is. It's the Lord's 57th annual Passover. And it's going to be held in Houston, Texas on April 4th. Don't forget, bring your family, bring your friends. Because this is going to be the time that so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans can come under one roof in one house and to serve the Lord. It's that time. $200 per person. Don't forget, over the age of 17. Don't forget the Lord's Passover. It's coming.
Kingdoms ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written.
Business moves fast. Your communication should too. Dialpad is the AI-powered platform built for better customer engagement. It's one platform for calls, messages, and video, secure, seamless, and built for modern business.
Don't let your strongest muscle be in your goddamn them Twitter fingers, nigga. Boss that nigga, man. Get your shit together, man. I'm overrated. So overrated. Overrated. So overrated, nigga. Coming on this bitch real fresh, bulletproof, high shoe, bitch, you better wear your vest. She try to get something off her chest, but the drip on her head made a mess. I'm a real piece of profit on this one, but nighttime sheet, I'm a beast. I'm like, here, eat it up, baby, eat. Here, eat it up, baby, eat. I walk with my pole like a pimp in the state that I got up a ton. I walk around with a lot of blaze, I lit a rip on it, yeah. Tonight it's a rap, I got a show, live show, and the niggas still indie. Hey, UPK niggas winning, UPK niggas gifted. Hey, I had a little money, but I lost a little money for that punk ass job. Now I'm getting paid off passion, so it's only right that I stunt. All the nigga wanna hate, frustrates on the face, boy, low wasting time. I don't hate being around broke minds, I motivate their ass and they grind. And that's a real ass leader, real ass nigga, 2G short in the flesh. And I'ma eat my plate so good, I'ma let a little bit while the dish. And I'ma beat down your block so rich, top off, you'll feel every leg. I went to another bitch house, cause that bitch ain't clean up the kitchen. And I ain't saying no names, give a goddamn shit, let that motherfucker learn. I left my phone unlocked, woke up, bitch had a damn chalkboard in front. Wanna know who it is, who the fuck is that bitch? I ain't telling no business. And I bought another motherfucking chopper, and that big game with some haters, but hey, I'm overrated. Pass overrated. I'm overrated. Pass overrated, nigga. I'm overrated. Pass overrated. I'm overrated. Pass overrated, nigga. I pass overrated. My money coming steady. I'ma rock out my good talk. Hey, the women looking good. Got them white girls. I was trying to see who got good talk. South Carolina, where them 5 thick women, they better know how to cook up. Hey, never take a bitch from scratch. That'll keep a nigga, yeah, on stop. I be in Atlanta with the hitters. Zone 6 rocking with a nigga. Had a nigga walk up to a G, but couldn't get past my security. Yeah, I go out, that's my dog already, and the priest too official. Niggas in the world traumatized, trying to buy a trip off a nigga. But when keep the shows coming, keep these hoes running hill for a change, he'll fly. But I gotta keep my fly slide on me, cause these nat bitches lying. I'm in North Carolina doing real big shit, I been got new ties. If you ain't rhyme broke, boy, you tired. But me and my niggas, yeah, pass overrated, pass overrated. Overrated, pass overrated, nigga. Pass overrated, pass overrated, overrated, pass overrated, nigga. That's the pass overrated, man. Mixtape, EP, whatever you wanna call it. I'm feeding y'all more. Y'all run this shit up, man. Do this shit before the Lord, man. Pass overrated, man. Shit. UBK South Carolina, man. Shout 2G. Come on, I see you, nigga. Come on.
Shalom. Back at it again, man. The Lord's 57th annual Passover back at the B&H Ranch. It's going down, man. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We're back again in Houston, Texas at the B&H Ranch. It's going down this time for the 57th annual Passover. Let me tell you, man, it's going to be a glorious event, as usual, down in the Wild Wild West. This year, man, we're going to have everything at the ranch, man. The lamb slaughter, General Mahaiman's class, the children party going to be glorious, the black party going to be glorious, and you already know the Passover going to be amazing. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread is going to be here. It's going to be an amazing event. Come out. It's going to be $200 for everybody under 17. Make sure you pay that. You know what? We're really giving it away. You're getting too much for free, pretty much. This is a free Passover almost. $200 ain't nothing. So, man, I'm telling you, come out, support the truth. Isupk.com, home of the truth. Hey, man, Passover.
The Isupk presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
I would definitely recommend TurboTax. My tax expert, she was amazing. She answered all of my questions.
They said free the Palestinians, then celebrate the death of Native Indians. How these other races gon' take us serious? They don't. It's silly thinking you can fight oppression with a vote. I'm so woke, I got sleep deprivation. Belly of the beast giving birth to a nation. You know how I feel to have culture and they take it. It'll never be peace. Tell them free the reservation. Till it's backwards. They don't know that they exist no more. Ever try reaching out for help and you just get ignored? Pick up vices like drugs or child fill a void. They get a youth life sentence for a killing. He was just a boy. Niggas poor, what we living for? Life a gamble is like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man, this ain't the norm. But you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know. Mama on the stage crying. She just lost her only son to gang violence. Pops level 4 yard talking through the fence. Have you ever tried to hug your loved ones through a fence? Have you ever been hated just because your skin? Have you ever worked all week and couldn't pay your rent? Life a trip to try and catch my balance. Every step feel like I'm walking backwards. Credit card, but God check the balance. I come from where it's worthless while my heart callous. They want you to fall weak, that's a war tactic. Look how we live, what's scary than that? What you know about crossing the Darien Gap? Risk your life to live in hell or bury your kids. Either way we gotta suffer and they just get rich. Life a bitch, why I waste time telling you that? Cause if you ain't a nigga like me, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how it feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. Hey, play my niggas, lay you down, they all down to ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. Tell me we don't live in hell. My brother doing 55 in that cell. Nigga claiming he your round here spin shell. Same nigga you put on to hit the stand and tell. How the fuck you turn your back on a nigga that love you? Treat your kids like my kids, treat you like a brother. I told my dog, let's leave the streets to serve the Most High. He said, fuck that shit, he trying to sell another pie. His daddy killed him, put him in the trunk, set him on fire. His wife was pregnant, he ain't never get to see his child. Had me thinking to myself, what happened if I die? Look my babies in the eyes, I gotta stay alive. I put my ego on the shelf and my pride to the side. I'm with some niggas who gon' step and got God on their side. Got in the ISUPK, they keep asking me why. As I do the work of the Lord, I gotta stay alive. Face the east, pray alive. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. Hey, play my niggas, lay you down, they all down to ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
You ever pump a pack with a snake by your side? Yes, I see a man reach out to God before he died. Yes, I did. I know the Lord forgive us for these sins, but I'm starting to think the kingdom of heaven is for these kids. I told my daughter, there's one man in your bed, I won't stand for left. For my son, I hit your head on that fragile legs. I lost some niggas to that dope, I lost niggas to the feds. Remember Jono tried to stick me for that cheese on that bread, Yeah, I was thuggin' with Lucky, that nigga left me for dead. Endure to the end, cause I listened to what was said. Mother told me she loved me when she was sick up in the bed. I was running them streets, but the truth made me a man. She don't really speak cause she'll never understand. That's why I ain't even tell her about these voices in my head. I'm still trying to manage my anger like Uncle Craig. I seen heaven turn to hell, I gotta stay alive. Lord have mercy on my soul, stand by my side. I killed the old man and I watched him die. Lost a couple niggas, guess he wasn't my round. They play my niggas, lay you down, they all down to ride. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive. I gotta stay alive. Keep my gun in my arm, I gotta stay alive.
It's that time of year. We're going to be in Houston, Texas from April 1st to April 5th, celebrating the Lord's 57th annual Passover under Commanding General Yahanna.
Shalom. You hear me? You got me up? All right. Am I supposed to be like that? All right. There you go. Okay. All right. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. This is ISBK Atlanta. This is the Monday Night History class. Once again, we are ISBK out of 1 West 125th Street under Commander General Yahanna. You understand? We've been teaching this truth since 1969. And like I said, today is the Monday Night History class. Monday Night History class. Can I get a sound check? Do I sound good? Everything to out? Can I get a sound check? Yeah, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 2 if you can. Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. Yeah. All right. 1 West. Yeah, I see 1 West. I don't see 1. All right, most of credit. All right. Just wanted to check. You know what I'm saying? We got also Mashal on the 1s and 2s, so you gotta you gotta bear with the brother, you know what I'm saying? All right. Is anybody on the anybody on the thing at all? To be brought up? Anybody could be brought up to the thing? Did you put the link in to join in? See if we can see if anybody could join in just to be sure, because I might need a reader too. Brother Kashab. Reader. Anybody can read? Anybody can read for me? Put the link in the chat for me. And anybody can read. There you go. So like I'm flying away back here. All right. Okay, let's get it. All right. Anybody can read for me? Click the link. All right. So start out. Last time we talked about this Jewish mob, right? So what you got to understand, we going into all of this stuff because this is what's going to break down so you can see what's going on even in Iran today. You understand? The countries that sacked Khazaria, right, But you all know Khazaria is where these people that call themselves the Jews today come from, right? So in this place called Khazaria, there was two countries, two areas that sacked them, right? And I'm gonna tell you what they are today. Hold on one second. Brought it up just a minute ago. So let me bring it back real quick. But basically, the ones that sacked them was present day Iraq, present day Syria, Lebanon, the area of Ukraine, that whole area, right? It's like in Russia, and then also Iran is the countries that took down Khazaria. You understand? They took them down. That's why they have like this type of hatred for these different countries. They hate these different countries because that's who destroyed them. Understand? So that's why you always seeing these wars that Israel keeps getting America to be in. That's why they want these wars, because they hate these countries. You know, they have a perpetual hatred for these countries. You understand? All right. Let me see if I can go here. All right. So just to give you a little bit, all these, they had wars with the Arab Caliphate in the 7th and 8th centuries, right? They have fought wars with the Umayyad Caliphate under the Abbasid Caliphate, and these wars happened mostly around the Caucasus Mountains. It lasted decades. It drained Khazar military strength. Although the Khazars stopped the Arab expansion into Eastern Europe, the constant warfare weakened them, right? The nomadic steppe tribes, right? Later, new nomadic tribes moved into the steppe and attacked Khazar territory, including Pechenegs and Opheg Turks. Like these groups raided Khazar lands, took control of parts of the steppe, disrupted trade routes that Khazaria depended on. So now you have somebody else moving in on them, right? Internal economic decline. Khazaria's wealth depended heavily on trade between Europe and Asia. They controlled the routes linking the Silk Road, the Volga River, and the Black Sea. When new powers and tribes disrupted these routes, Khazaria lost tax revenue and influence. See, the whole tax revenue that people want to start doing, a lot of that came from Khazaria. Just like you have the income tax and all of that, that comes from these people here, all right? Like the tax on trade and all of these different things like that, that came from Khazaria. You understand? Go ahead.
Tariffs.
Yeah, like tariffs come. Like all these things, the tax, different things, they came from Khazaria. Or at least, I'm not going to say it came with them 100%, but this is how they made their money. They didn't make nothing really. They were like the middlemen and brokers. So even though it's possible somebody else made it, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say 100% they made it, but just like with everything else, they popularized it. You get me? Like slavery existed for thousands of years, but it wasn't no slavery like the oppressive slavery. You understand? They popularized it. They made it a real they made it like an industry. You get what I'm saying? Like people always had slaves, but it was like, you know, whatever, you know, it wasn't a big deal like that. But they made it into an industry where they treated us like literal cattle, like we were like human goods. You see what I'm saying? They didn't really do that in these times. They could trade you. You were just like, you know, to a degree, like you know, if somebody get a wife in a marriage, it was similar to that. It was just like a trade thing. This is what I got. You can have it. This is worth such and such amount of money. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. It wasn't an industry that everything made money off of. See what I'm saying? It wasn't an industry. Like it wasn't like you got the music industry where everybody makes money. You got ad revenue, all of this. It wasn't that. You see what I'm saying? It was more like a hustle almost to a degree for most different countries, right? They turned it into an industry. The same thing here. They turned it into an industry. All right. So the final destruction, the final collapse happened when it was a person, he was in Kiev, I can't pronounce that, attacked around 964 to 965 AD. Kiev, that's from I believe what's that, Ukraine or Russia, in that area. They came and attacked them, and that destroyed them. All right. And these countries that they are now, areas involved in that person Kievan the Rus, led by the person in Kiev, the areas that is in today's Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus. So they want to destroy both of those countries. That's why they got a Jewish, president over there now, right? To get them into a war, right? The Khazarian fought long wars of the Umayyad Caliphate, later the Abbasid Caliphate, right? These countries that now are Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Saudi Arabia. That's why they have an issue with these different tribes. They hate these areas because of what they did to them, right? They won't let it go. So I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of Israel. I don't have this on the slides just yet, but I just wanted to bring y'all a little bit of history of what's going on so you can understand better why this war is really happening. It's really happening. They hate these countries. Another thing is Iran. They don't want Iran to even be able to, because our oppressor, he can't have like competition. He has to be able to slaughter you with impunity. You can't even be able to, like, if you throw you throw a rock or a brick and you break a window, you're doing too much damage. You understand? They want to have overwhelming force and damage to you. All right, you can bring up the slide now. So far, anybody got any questions? Any questions so far?
You control it from there.
Lie. I can't control it from there. It'd be nice though, right?
Okay. I got it. Oh,
Can you split slides?
yeah. I see what you got there. I never did it before.
There you go. All right. History of the Jewish mob. You're gonna understand how they formed, where they came from, and where they went, and what they did. You understand? So we're gonna get into that. Go to the next slide. I said before, they came from the Pale of Settlement. This was like a place that in like right on the west part of Russia, the Ukraine area. They were in like this place here because you weren't able to be like a Christian. I mean, you had to be a Christian, Salakia, to be in this area, to be like what everybody else was. So they let them be on their own. And people want to tell you that they were poor. They always want to go to the statement that these were poor people. No, a lot of these people were wealthy. You understand? They were able to, when they got out of the Pale of Settlement, they left and went to the United States. The thing that you understand, you got to have money to do that. This ain't something you do for free, right? Especially at that time. You got to think this is like 1880s to 1920s. How you get over there? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't have money, this wasn't like the day where you got a lot of ships going over. You got an airplane, you can just save up $1,000 or whatever, $600, and fly over the city if you catch it at the right time, right? It's not that type of situation. These were boats. These cost a lot of money to get over here, right? So you had the Pale of Settlement, the pressure cooker. It was a restricted to a single zone in the Russian Empire, modern Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. 5 million Jewish people face crushing poverty. Like I said, this is a lie. They want to say they were poverty. No, these were rich people. They just like you. I know. Did anybody see those videos where they had them? They said that they were poor, but nobody was working. Everybody had money over there in New York. Everybody on welfare. Anybody see that? So the same way they go and say that they're poor, but they really just not paying for anything. So and then here's what happens: the banks loan them money without having to pay usury or pay taxes, right? But they charge usury to everybody else. So they take all of that money, and it's a real strict plan that they have. I don't know the whole details of everything, but they take it and they make it so that they get money from wherever else but they don't ever have to spend their own money. So they really are wealthy. They just don't, you can't see it like on paper. And then also they always come back and rewrite history to say that they were always poor. They were always poor and downtrodden and made these success stories, right? Just like you look at you will see with somebody like Jeffrey Epstein, they'll say that he was a poor person. But you look, he just got wealth out of nowhere, right? That's because they finance each other up and then, finance each other, and that's part of the gang as well, right? So you see that 5 million Jews, they said they had crushing poverty, legal bans on professions and violent programs. Survival required bypassing the law. So they say all this stuff. They talk about survival required, right? So here's the thing. Right around 1880, a Jewish gang from this area, they went and assassinated the Tsar. Okay, so they went and took him out. When they took him out, now they were causing uprisings everywhere. You understand? They were causing uprisings, and when they caused these uprisings, they was able to do an assassination on somebody. Does that not sound familiar? What they do to Ukraine and what they do to all these other countries, Iran, Iraq? They want to cause an uprising to have the people go and take them over, so then they can go in the middle of all of the fog of chaos and war. They want to extract resources out, and some of those resources are people and children. You understand? They take them out of those lands. All right. So they said survival required bypassing law. Yeah, they broke the law to do all this stuff because at this time they were the Russians were going big on like they were more so aligned with quote unquote Orthodox Christianity. So they wanted to fight. They didn't want to have usury. They didn't want to have abortions. A lot of these things that go on now they didn't want to have, and they had to kill them for it, right? So the Great Exodus, 1880 to 1924. Over 2 million Jewish people fled the Pale. They didn't just go to New York. They scattered to London, Buenos Aires, Detroit, and Johannesburg, carrying their survival instincts with them, which it ain't survival instincts. It's they carry their criminal behavior and their criminal organizing. That's what they brought with them. You understand? And they also went to countries like Italy, and they started setting up MAFIA members over in Italy. You understand? The criminal diaspora, the same conditions that were created in American Jewish mob, also spawned the Ziwi Magdala, Argentina, and the Yiddishers in London. There was one origin story told on these continents. So they spread this mess all over. All these mob gang members, this was spread by Jewish people. We always thought that they were, we always taught that these was like Italian mob. That's because who make the movies? The Jewish men. So they make the Italians, the real mobs, they make you think they the ones that started the mafia, started the mobs. But it was these people that started the mob. You understand? All right, go to the next slide for me. On the wrong way. There you go. See New York, the Kosher Nostra. You see you have Rothstein, Lansky, Siegel, Casinos, Bootlegging, and Murder Inc. London, the Yiddishers, Alfie Solomon, the Craves, they had Racetracks, Protection, Fascist Fights, Russia and Israel, Modern Mafia, Maglevic and Abigail. They had Arms, Nuclear, and Ecstasy. You didn't know that, did you? You didn't know they was smuggling nuclear energy, right? You didn't know that, right? Buenos Aires, Ziwi, Migdal, Trafficking Empire, 2,000 brothels, 50 million annual turnover. Detroit, the Purple Gang. Sound like somebody I know. The Bernstein Brothers, the Lewis Jewish Navy, and hijacking. See? Go ahead, go to the next one. Now you got Arnold Rothstein, the corporate model. Rothstein transformed crime from street thuggery into a business. He introduced corporate structure, legal counsel, and diversification. He mentored the next generation, Lansky, Siegel, and Luciano. All right. The Black Sox scandal. He famously fixed the 1919 World Series, paying Chicago White Sox players to lose. Though indicted, he was never convicted. He had insulated himself through layers of intermediaries. So he fixed the game. So all his game fixes, all the stuff start with them. All these things start with them. Of course, gets it, like I said, the corporate structure. He had legal counsel, so he was getting stuff. He had legal members, so then they would start putting their own family into lawyers. That's why you notice, like, there was a thing like in what do you call it, like I think even what's the name said it, 50 Cent. He said, I got Jewish lawyers, so that means you're in trouble. You got Jewish lawyers, right? So that's when they start putting their own kids to be lawyers so they can help insulate their, criminal empires. All right. That's it. Did you click? Did you not yet? Go back to that one. Okay. I've loved baseball ever since Arnold Rothstein fixed the World Series in 1919. Hyman Roth, The Godfather, Part 2. So they talking about that. They love baseball because they say that what the mafia can do, and they see that he looked up to him. You understand? He looked up to Arnold Rothstein. This was their idols of being mafia members. This is who they looked up to. You see, you had the bootlegging, $5 million, gambling houses, 2.5 million, labor racketeering, 1.2, drug trafficking, 3 million. He was making almost $12 million a year. You don't understand? This is like in 1920. It's 1920. This down there, this was like $500 million a day. Something crazy. Whole lot of money today, right? If somebody can look it up, just see how much. $11.7 million what that is today, Baba Kasha.
I was gonna say what, like the price of bread, like what? You
know what I'm saying?
Probably like 5 cents, probably less than that.
Yeah, you probably want the microphone so they can hear you.
Oh,
But yeah. My brother was saying that you wonder how much the price of bread was back then. Probably 10 cents.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up and see.
So
5 billion.
You said it's 5 billion?
No, I said he making 5 million.
Yeah. No, that was just bootlegging, you understand? Right. The total assets was almost $12 million. Anybody say anything yet? Looked it up? Oh, not yet. Now it's making bread, right?
It says in 1920, 1 pound loaf of white bread typically costs 9 to 10 cents.
Yeah, nice. Now see how much $11.7 million is now.
All right.
See how much that is.
What's worth 11.7?
Yeah, look that up.
Meal in 1920.
Yep, 1920. How much is that worth now? What did it say?
All right, it says and 11.7 million in 1920 is equivalent in purchasing power to approximately 189.7 million to 190 million in 2026.
You made just think you being a mafia member, you making almost $200 million a year, bro. In the mafia. Think of what type of power you got. We all think all these industries came from, the financial district, where you think All these things you seen. Where you think they came from? That's Arnold Ross thing. Let's go to the next cat, Bugsy Siegel. Remember, his idol was this dude, right? He's the father of this. He's the father of this man, right? Bugsy Siegel. Let's look at that. Go to the next. Go to the next slide. For sure.
I mean, it's a lot of what good, right?
Go ahead.
The amount of money they make back then
Mm-hmm.
to what it is today now. Black people, you think you can keep up with these type of people, man?
Yeah, man.
That's like, I mean, that's generations and generations of what?
Mm-hmm.
We so oppressed and got such a late start. Like, you're not even close to that.
Nowhere near this.
That's crazy.
And they were doing this stuff through all types of crime. You understand? Look at this, Bugsy Siegel, right? Division.
And that's, if I could.
Go ahead.
And that's not even tax.
Yeah, that's tax-free money. It's tax-free money. They was making so much money, like, hey, let me do something with it. Now you about to see what Bugsy Siegel did.
Okay, keep going.
Is that the one, Bugsy Siegel? Yeah, let's go to Division. 1945, Siegel looked at the Nevada desert and saw a gambling oasis. Good night. He envisioned the Flamingo Hotel. How many of y'all been there? How many of y'all been to the Flamingo Hotel? A luxury resort that would legitimize mob money. The execution, the budget ballooned for $1.5 to $6 million. The mob bosses suspected he was skimming. On June 20th, 1947, 6 months after it opened, Siegel was shot dead in Beverly Hills while reading the newspaper. So even he's so damn greedy, he going against his other Jewish compatriots. You know what I'm saying? And he had paid $6 million. So that's about half of that. So that's about $100 million a day for the Flamingo Hotel. All right, go to the next one. Next slide. Is that Mickey Cohen? And now you got Mickey Cohen, the battle for Sunset Strip. After Siegel's murder, Cohen took over Los Angeles. So he went to LA, right? He went to Vegas. Now I'm gonna go to LA, see what I do out there. He waged a bloody war against the Italian Dragna family, surviving 11 assassination attempts, including bombings of his home. The Nazi fighter, the former prize fighter Cohen, famously walked into a police station holding a cell full of arrested German American Bund members and banged their heads together while the cops looked the other way. See, confidential file, a obsessive hand washer. He a germaphobe. Owned a haberdashery as a front, dated Hollywood starlets, died of natural causes. The next person. So he went and just beat the hell out of people for no reason, right? Just beat the hell out of them, went to a jail, just beat the hell out of them. Let's go to Kid Can, the 40-year reign. Isidore Blumenfield, Kid Can, was born in Nepal, Romania, and ruled Minneapolis for 4 decades. He controlled bootlegging, gambling, and prostitution with absolute impunity. The Liggett murder. In 1935, crusading journalist Walter Liggett was machine gunned in front of his family after exposing Can's corruption. Can was indicted but acquitted after key witnesses disappeared or changed their stories. And y'all thought it was the Italian mob that was out here, right? Because everybody thought it was Italian mob, right? Thought it was Italians. Them Italians, right? Nah, it's these Jewish bastards that's going around doing all it. The Italians learned from them. You see 1924 prohibition violation, arrested for operating illegal distillery. Charges dropped due to lack of evidence. 1928 police shooting, suspected of shooting 2 police officers, released without charge. 1935 murder warrant, indicted of the murder of Walter Liggett. Verdict, not guilty. 1961 white slavery, finally convicted under the Mann Act, sentenced to 8 years. All he got was 8 years in prison for all the hell he did, right? Go to the next one. Longy Zwillman, the power broker. Zwillman controlled Newark's bootlegging empire and had deep ties to politicians. He dated Hollywood star Jean Harlow and co-founded the National Crime Syndicate, the Newark Minutemen. When the German-American Bund began marching in New Jersey, Zwillman organized a Jewish defense force. His Minutemen broke up Nazi rallies with baseball bats and stink bombs. Right? And Zwillman found hanged in basement, Newark, February 27, 1959. Abner Longy Zwillman, the reputed underworld kingpin in New Jersey, was found dead in his West Orange mansion today. Police have ruled it a suicide, citing a plastic cord around his neck. However, associates claim his hands were bound, suggesting a mob hit to prevent him from testifying before the Syndicate Rackets Committee. Because you know that they started doing like different charges to try to get people pretty much locked up and everything, right? They started putting up, different things like racketeering charges and to get mafia. Then that's when they came out with that, what's they call it? What's the thing that's the racketeering act, right? The RICO charge. There you go. I think they came out with that like the 1970s and 80s, and then it really didn't do nothing to the Jewish mob because they got into all of the different. They got into like, the music and entertainment industry and on Wall Street. So it really only got the Italian mafia and all of them. It didn't really do anything to them, right? Go to the next slide. The American Kosher Nostra, the architect, Arnold Rothstein, known as the Brain. Rothstein transformed criminal thuggery into corporate business. He famously fixed the 1919 World Series and mentored the next generation. He taught me how to dress, said Lucky Luciano. The Muscle, Murder Inc., the enforcement arm of the syndicate led by Leoke Bachalton. Based in Brownsville, Brooklyn, this group of Jewish hitmen carried out hundreds of contract killings nationwide to maintain syndicate order. The Alliance, National Crime Syndicate, a strategic partnership between the Jewish mob, Meyer Lansky, the Italian mafia, Lucky Luciano. They eliminated the mustache Pete's, old school Sicilian bosses, to create a modern, multi-ethnic criminal board of directors. The Empire, Vegas and Havana, moving from bootlegging to legitimate gambling. Bugsy Siegel built the Flamingo in Las Vegas, while Lansky engineered the casinos operations in Havana, Cuba, turning the mob into a global hospitality enterprise. You understand? So that's the real reason why everybody was mad about when they did all of the stuff that went on in Cuba when they tried to take over Castro and everything. That's why they were mad. They were mad because they were missing that money because Castro basically said, yeah, if I run, y'all can come here and do all of that, all that casinos out there. They said, cool. And once he got in, he kicked their behinds out. He kicked all of them out of there. So that's why they was trying to get all of the stuff. Because remember, they helped make the CIA and all these other, they started making all of these, like I said, the CIA and the OSS, they made all of these things. And they wanted to go and take that back over so they can have their money laundering. So that's why they got the CIA to try to go and overtake Fidel Castro. All right. Boom. Next slide. Is this making sense to everybody? Everybody kind of getting where we're going? Everybody good? Trying to go through it pretty good, trying to keep a good speed. Everybody understand? Everybody got any questions, anything like that? Everybody to up? Okay. All right, well, so okay. Feel free to ask your questions. The purple game, right? The purple game. You get to the next one yet? Oh, yeah, that's it. The purple game. This is where UIC came from. So like Detroit's Prohibition Terror, 1927 to 1935. Origin, Little Jerusalem. Unlike other mobs, they weren't immigrants, but the American-born children of Russian and Polish Jewish refugees. They grew up in Detroit's Hastings Street neighborhood, hardened by poverty and street warfare. The Capone Alliance. Al Capone tried to take Detroit, but realized the Purple Gang was too dangerous to fight. So how you so damn dangerous? Al Capone said, "Nah, bro, I'm cool." Who the real gangsters, man? Who the real gangsters? We thought it was Al Capone, right? Nah. You don't hear nothing about these other gangs. You don't hear nothing about them. But how many times you heard of Al Capone? You ever heard of Purple Gang? What you want to say?
So I heard of Purple Gang, not back then, but the Purple Gang we know of is IUIC.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Never heard of Purple Gang, right? So he had struck a deal with them. They supplied his Chicago outfit with old log cabin whiskey, and he left Detroit he left Detroit to them. He said, y'all had Detroit, and y'all too crazy out here. Y'all too crazy. I'm gonna let y'all have that. The Little Jewish Navy. They control the Detroit River, the primary artery for smuggling Canadian whiskey into the U.S. Their fleet of speedboats was so efficient, they supplied over 60% of the liquor entering the Midwest. So you see right there, it say on the bottom right, they're too violent even for me, attributed to Al Capone. Good night. Boy, these devils, like, and y'all think that they've changed. Y'all think they've changed. This is who is running Israel. But we're going to get into that, right? We're going to get into that. These is real gangsters. This is who runs the country. This is who runs the United States of America. This is who runs it. You can trace a lot of these families back into politicians and other people in government. They're related. You understand? It's something else I forgot to put on here. You can look up something called the Haymarket Square. There's something that happened in Chicago where they just start burning stuff down, right? And it was, it caused chaos to take over Chicago. So they did that. It's crazy. As they say, it was German refugees, but no, it was German Jewish refugees. You understand? You go to the next one. Let's go to these London Yiddishers. I thought it was just in America, right? The young London Yiddishers, gangsters with an accent, with a London accent, a UK accent. Imagine that. The Bessarabian Tigers, named after their homeland on a Russia-Romania border, police called them the greatest menace ever known to London. They brought the violence of the programs to the streets of Whitechapel. There was violence in these different in the programs they had. They would try to say there's programs that was caused here, but no, it was that what made the violence was them. They wanted to take over Russia, and then, like I said, they killed the Tsar. You understand? Now you see Alfie Solomon, the real life inspiration for Peaky Blinders. He controlled the racetracks and famously allied with Jewish communists to fight British fascists at the Battle of Cable Street. Oh, another battle. Fascists against fascism, right? I think that's was fascism. That might have been socialism. That even the mustache man that we probably get banned if we mention his name. But I think he was a socialist. Jack Spot Comer, born to Polish immigrants, he ruled London's underworld in the 1940s and 50s. A street fighter who claimed to protect the Jewish community. I guess some of it fell off. Can you get the Crate Twins on there? On the bottom, can you scroll down and see if it lets you? You see the London Yiddishers, is that what you're looking at? You see the bottom where it says the Crate Twins? Did I get cut off?
Yeah, looked like it did. See if I can make it smaller to do it pop up. Yeah, cut it off.
Okay, no sweat.
I mean, I can. Yeah, it's still cut it off.
Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, so I can find that part. Oh, that's not it. Let me see. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can find that. All right. Is it on here? Give me 1 second, Bob. Okay, no, I don't see it on here. You probably won't find it, but there's another twins or something like that. The Crate Twins. All right, let's go to the next slide. It should say Zooey McDowell at the top. Modus operandi, this is MO. Founded in 1860 by Jews from Warsaw, the organization posed as a mutual aid society. Their primary operation was the Shtil Stupa, the silent wedding. Traffickers would travel to poor villages in the Pale of Settlement, posing as wealthy grooms. They would marry young women, promising a new life in South America, only to force them into prostitution upon arrival in Buenos Aires. The network was global with branch offices in Brazil, New York, Warsaw, South Africa, India, and China. All right. So they would just get women. They would just go take them, and they would just take them over to down into all these different countries and make them into whores, right? The takedown. The organization operated with impunity for decades due to massive police corruption. It was finally brought down by one woman, Raquel Lieberman, a victim of the network who managed to escape. Lieberman provided detailed testimony to an uncorrupted police superintendent in 1930. The organization is a state within the state. They control the police, the judges, and the port. So they ran everything. So they were able to go this long without nothing because they literally ran the whole entire thing. What they do is they set each other up in different places so they all can do the whole racket without nobody going to jail. And they would just set up their cousins or somebody else here, and they all look out for each other, right? It said 430 known members, 2,000 brothels controlled, 4,000 women trafficked, 50 million annual turnover. $50 million. It's in 1930, right? Imagine $50 million in 1930. Remember, you said 1920, 11 was 200. So what's this? 11, that's about 10. That's almost $1 billion a year on whores right here. It's like 900 to $1 billion a year on whores right here. So how you think they set up the CIA? How does the CIA get funding for clandestine operations or classified operations? How you think they get funding? They get funding from MAFIA. They get funding from criminal enterprise. So that way there's no track record of where the money came from. Next slide. The Ionid game. Jewish intellectuals versus the communist state. The profile anomaly. Unlike typical mobsters, this group comprised of Bucharest's elite. They were engineers, journalists, colonels, and professors, even Communist Party members. They love communism. You understand? They love communism because they get to take over whenever it's communism. Alexander Ionid, police colonel. Paul Ionid, aeronautical engineer. Igor Siviano, engineer. Monica Siviano, she was a journalist. They cried in 1959. They intercepted an armored bank truck carrying the payroll for the State Bank of Romania. It was the most famous heist in Eastern Bloc history. The motive, not greed, but Zionism. They intended to donate the funds to Zionist organizations to protest the regime's refusal to allow immigration to Israel. So, you see how serious they is about that Zionism now, see? Now Zionism starting to get me. All right, go ahead. Simeon Mogilevich, the brainy, he died. Uncle Siva. He was born June 30, 1946, in Kiev, Ukraine, the Pale. Economics degree, University of Lviv. Status at large, he's in Moscow. This the boss of bosses. Mogilevich is not a street thug. He's an economist who treats organized crime as a multinational corporation. He is the direct heir to the Pale of Settlement legacy, born in the same neighborhoods that spawned the American mobsters of the 1920s. He controls a vast network of Russian Jewish criminal syndicates worldwide, bridging the gap between the old Soviet underworld and modern global finance. He is the most powerful and dangerous gangster in the world. FBI Organized Crime Division. This the real boss right here. Simeon Mogilevich. Y'all should do some research on him. He's the boss of everybody. You understand? He might be over the Rothschild, you know what I'm saying? Because he's the one nobody know about. Mogilevich's empire. Go to the next slide for me. Boom, his empire. Strategic threats. Purchased the Army Coat factory in Budapest to manufacture anti-aircraft guns. Involved in smuggling nuclear materials and highly enriched uranium. Stole uranium, right? What do you think they did that for? To make bombs, right? Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're not next slide, Salaki.
Oh.
Financial crimes. Orchestrated a $1 billion YBM Magnix fraud on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Laundered over $10 billion through the Bank of New York. Environmental terror. Partnered with the Italian-American Mafia in a scheme to dump toxic waste in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. High-level ties. Vladimir Putin alleged There's other guy with gas disputes in Trump Tower. So now you see Trump knows these people. Go to the next one. This is where you got the S. Bratva, Rose strategic partner. Mogilevich acts as the brain and money launderer for Russia's most powerful criminal syndicate. He provides the financial infrastructure for their brute force. You heard of Genevieve's crime family? He's rode a U.S. connection, partnered with the Italian-American Mafia in a scheme to dump toxic waste to the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Also involved in the fuel tax fraud schemes in the U.S. Political ties, protection, his role is protection. Alleged ties of Vladimir Putin, FSB, defector, Latvienko, deeply involved for the Rus-Ukrainian, the intermediary company controlling gas flow between Russia and Ukraine. The financial systems, role laundering, control income bank, Russia, and laundered $10 billion to the Bank of New York, orchestrated the $1 billion YBM magnet fraud in the Toronto Stock Exchange. The incident report, 1995. Czech Republic raided his birthday party in Prague. 200 attendees detained, including top Sevskaya bosses. Mogilevich escaped. Got the hell on. Next slide. The racket, the strategy. By the 1930s, Jewish mobsters had infiltrated the garment district, trucking and bakery unions. They didn't just steal from the unions, they became the unions. The double squeeze. The genius of the racket was squeezing both sides. They threatened employers with strikes unless they paid protection money, and they threatened workers with violence unless they paid dues. That's why you got to pay union dues. That's where all that comes from. One, the steps was one, infiltrate, get hired as a labor organizer or security during strikes. Two, threaten, tell owners, pay us or your trucks don't move. Control, install mob puppets as union president. Four, skim, loot their pension funds and dues for personal profit. So all this, when you see all your money just be scammed out of you, just disappear, your retirement money, your pension funds, it just disappears. That's where all this stuff comes from. You understand? All right. All right, no questions so far still. All right, next one, Lepke Bukalter, the Garment King. Lepke Bukalter controlled the New York garment industry with an iron fist. He grossed over $1 million a year in 1930s, approximately $23 million a day, through extortion and labor racketeering. Murder Inc. He followed the enforcement arm known as Murder Inc., where prosecutor Thomas Dewey came after him. Lepke ordered dozens of witnesses killed. He even ordered a hit on fellow mob boss Dutch Schultz. Sing Sing prison. Date March 4th, 1944. Method, electric chair. Status, deceased. I am anxious to go. I am so tired. This is his last words. He tired of raising hell, so he ready to get up out of here. All right, next slide. Murder Inc. Try to go through this. We already talked about Murder Inc. before. Murder Inc., the system based in Brownsville, Brooklyn. The group of Jewish and Italian hitmen hired for salary. They murdered strangers to avoid police connections. Between 1929 and 1941, they committed an estimated 400 to 1,000 murders. The Canary. The group fell apart when hitman Abe Kid Twist Rose turned informant to help to avoid the electric chair. He sent several bosses to death row, but mysteriously falling out of a hotel window while under police protection. Mysteriously fell out. All right, next one. So here goes some schemes that they did. Protective Association created a fake trade group, forced businesses to join and pay dues. If they refuse, their windows get smashed or their trucks get hijacked. The strike breaker. Owners hired a mob to break a strike. The mob breaks heads and turns around and forces the union to pay for protection too. The ghost employees. Force companies to put mob associates on the payroll. These ghosts never show up for work and collect full salaries and benefits. Next, loan sharking. Lend money to desperate workers or business owners at 20% weekly interest. The VIG. Use violence to collect. The numbers game. The legal lottery played in poor neighborhoods. The mob controlled the bank that paid out the winnings and kept the profits. Hijacking. Steal a truckload of goods, furs, liquor, cigarettes. Sell the goods back to the original owner for 50% of the value. So they basically steal your stuff and sell it back to you. All right, next, the alliance. The alliance, the threat. In 1938, the German-American Bund was marching openly in New York City, wearing swastikas and shouting anti-Semitic slurs. The police did nothing. The proposal. Judge Nathan Perelman, a respected jurist, secretly met with Meyer Lansky. He asked the mob boss to do what the law could not: stop the Nazis. You got Judge Perelman. You got some boys that might want to punch a Nazi. Meyer Lansky, respectfully, Judge, we can do better than that. And then punch. Judge Perelman, I want you to teach them a lesson, but don't kill them. Meyer Lansky, don't worry, we'll marinate them. We won't ice them. So they were doing all this, but you know what happened before this? That I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret, that they declared war on Germany first. Germany was going around trying to stop them because they was trying to take over their country, right? They was trying to take over their country. He was trying to stop them from doing that. So then now when they try to organize something to try to say about, what's going on, now they go and they organize their gangs to try to, hurt them or marinate them, as they say. All right. There goes some battles. New York City.
Next slide.
Yeah, kind of. The battles. New York City, Yorksville Casino, April 20th, 1938. Lansky's crew crashed a Hitler birthday party. Armed with baseball bats and billiard cues, they threw Nazis out of windows. Result: dozens of Nazis hospitalized with compound fractures. Newark, New Jersey. The Minutemen. Longie's William organized a militia led by boxer Nat Arnold. They used stink bombs and iron pipes to break up every Bund meeting in the city. We chased them out of Newark. So all of this, they don't want you to have any type of freedom of speech. All of that comes from them. When you have things like, like Black Lives Matter and all of that, when they started organizing into the organization, not what the slogan originally meant, and they started running people out of places, that comes from them. Because the person that funded Black Lives Matter and all the other like, these things like the Antifa and all of that is Jewish people. They fund all of the chaos. The person that did, that No Kings March. Y'all, everybody, you remember the No Kings March, Majala? Remember that? Yeah, it was last year, right? Talking about Trump, they organized that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was a Jewish person who organized that. So they organized these marches so they could try to sow discourse between everything. That's how it's one of the ways they use they want to do an uprising. They want America to get so pissed off between the left and the right that we do an uprising in the middle. Your kids gonna end up missing. They're gonna take your property. They're gonna take your whatever you own that's worth anything. They're gonna take your gold. They're gonna take everything and leave you with nothing, and leave you with a shell of a government that they control. You understand? That's why they want all of this chaos to happen. All this chaos that's going on in America between the left and the right, who owns all of the media that goes from the left and the right? It's them. They want all this. They want to sow all this discourse to basically take back over the country. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they can have the country. I don't want Black and Hispanic Native American people sowing discourse amongst each other. You understand? But if white people want to go and kill each other, have at it. Enjoy yourself. I know you all like killing each other anyway. All right. Los Angeles, Mickey Cohen's raid, where Nazis were arrested. Cohen walked into the police station holding cell. The cops left the room. Cohen beat the Nazis senseless while they were still in custody. Detroit and Cleveland, Midwest Defense. The Purple Gang and Cleveland Syndicate protected Jewish neighborhoods. They ambushed bun marchers, ensuring that no swastika flag could be flown without a fight. Next slide. Cable Street, the march, October 4th, 1936. Oswald Mosley's British Union of Fascists planned to march through the Jewish East End. The police tried to clear a path for them. The barricades, 300,000 people, Jewish gangsters, Irish dockers, communists built barricades. They fought the police and the fascists with fish, stones, and chair legs. The march was canceled. Key figures, Alfie Solomon, the real-life inspiration for Peaky Blinders, Alfie Solomon, the Jewish gangster who organized the defense. Jack Spot, future mob boss of London, fought on the front line. The Bessarabians, the Jewish gang from the Pale who provided muscle. So you see all this, they provided all this stuff to fight against a group of fascists. You understand? They did all this fight. Like I said, they want to talk about Black people want to be fighting and can't stop fighting and rioting and all this stuff. This is where this comes from. They do all the rioting, but when they rile up Black people to do it, and now we do it. Now they want to say that you can't control yourself. You know what I'm saying? You a monkey. You can't be civilized. But you see, they not civilized at all. What about any of this stuff was civilized? Right? And I bet you it's so many more. It's probably thousands of instances like this that you won't even know. All right. Go to the next one. The Gangsters for Zion, the Hub, Hotel 14, the Jewish agency ran a clandestine arms network from 14 East 60th Street, New York City. It was led by Teddy Kollek, future mayor of Jerusalem, who coordinated directly with mob bosses to bypass the U.S. arms embargo. Y'all see this? This is somebody that led they do Russian arms, and they made him a mayor. You understand? The port, NYC docks. Meyer Lansky used his alliance with Albert Anastasia to control the docks. Weapons for Israel were secretly loaded at night, while crates of arms bombs for Egypt mysteriously fell overboard or were filled with junk. So they stole United States weapons and sent them to Egypt, right? What they don't want to tell you is that that's why they want to start these wars, because all of these weapons gonna fall off the ship some type of way, and they gonna end up with all of the weapons that America has, right? The flag, Panama. Miami gangster Sam K uses connections to the president of Panama to register Haganah weapon ships. Flying the Panamanian flag gave them diplomatic protection from British seizure. So that's how they got the shit. They got all of the ships over there to smuggle their weapons. The muscle murder ain't. Jewish hitmen offered a specific skill set to the cause. They told Teddy Kollek, if you want anyone killed, just draw up a list and we'll take care of it. Right? And he politely declined. Let's go to the next. Where we got? How many slides we got left? We got about 10 slides. The mob and the Mossad, the foundation, 1948. Before the state existed, the Haganah worked directly with Jewish gangsters. They needed weapons, money, and shipping routes that only the underworld could provide. It was a marriage of necessity. The refuge and the rejection. Doc Stacker successfully used law of return to flee U.S. charges. But when Meyer Lansky tried to immigrate in 1970, Prime Minister Golda Meir famously denied him, stating, "We have no mafia in Israel." Modern entanglements. The lines blurred again in the 2000s. Denisa mob boss Yitzhak Abigail Inbel Gavrili was elected to the Knesset. Simi Mogilev recently lived in Israel in 1990. Israel, the promised land of organized crime. NBC Cable, Tel Aviv. All right, next one. Nista Mossad operations. Operation Finale, 1960. Target Adolf Eichmann. Mossad agents tracked the Nazi architect of the Holocaust to Argentina. They kidnapped him, smuggled him to Israel, and put him to trial. He was executed in 1962. So they tracked somebody all the way over there, right? And they put him on trial, executed him. Operation Entebbe, 1976, rescue mission. After terrorists hijacked the plane in Uganda, Mossad provided intel for a daring raid. Israeli commandos rescued 102 hostages from Entebbe airport. Operation Moses, humanitarian evacuation. Mossad agents set up a fake diving resort in Sudan to smuggle 8,000 Ethiopian Jews out of a famine zone airlift on Israel. Iran raid, intelligence highest agents infiltrated the warehouse in Tehran and stole 100,000 documents proving Iran's nuclear weapons program. They smuggled a half-ton of paper out in a single night. This is a couple operations. Some of these, I believe, probably got a little bit of they try to make it sound good and everything. I know they do a lot of the other, they like to. They real racist for the Ethiopian Jewish people. They real racist to them, but they like to bring in a lot of other people, and they say, okay, it's like if you want your citizenship, you got to serve in the IDF. They get the ones they need, and they hire them to be spies to other countries. All right. Go to the next one. The Wrath of God, the massacre. September 5th, 1972. Black September terrorists stormed the Olympic Village in Munich, killing 11 Israeli athletes. The world watched in horror. The response, Prime Minister Golda Meir authorized a secret assassination campaign. Send forth the board, she said. For over a decade, Mossad hunted down every terrorist involved across Europe and Middle East. The mistake. In Lillehammer, Norway, 1973, agents killed an innocent Moroccan waiter, mistaken him for a terrorist leader. 6 agents were arrested, exposed an operation. So they're good about, and this was 1972, they're good about doing assassinations. So you see, this is Murder Inc. Right here. This Murder Inc. just legally. Go ahead. Next one. The Shadows, the Jordan fiasco. Agents tried to kill Hamas leader Khalid Marshall and Amin by injecting poison into his ear. They were caught. To free them, Israel was forced to provide an antidote and to release Hamas founder Sheikh Yassin. The Epstein connection. Robert Maxwell, father Ghislaine Maxwell, was a confirmed Mossad asset. Intelligence sources allege that Jeffrey Epstein's operation may have been used to gather on powerful figures for intelligence purposes. Subject, Promise Software. Allegation, Mossad agents modified the Promise case management software and sold it to 80 foreign intelligence agencies. method. A backdoor was installed, allowing Israel to monitor the covert operations of both allies and enemies. So they took this and they was able to use this against their own allies and enemies. So like Israel has, they don't have like loyalty to anybody. They'll use everything from America and then tell them. Let me see what countries. Were compromised from the software. So countries directly reported have testified have received promise: Israel, Singapore, Iraq, and Jordan. Countries that sold the bug version was China, Russia, India, Israel, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. So, yep, this was the whole thing. They got stolen. They modified it with a back door, and then they sold it. The countries that sold it. It was all of these countries here. All right. Eli Cohen. Let's go to the next one. Boom. All right. What we got? All right. Take a little break. Let's do a couple shout outs. We got a few brothers. We got They Check In and Sisters. We got Elder Charles. Shalom. Yahbashim Shapata. Got Princess Cece. Shalom Yahweh Shema Bashim Yahweh Shasir. Oh, Sister Celia. Ma'ida Na. Shalom Lord Christ is. Makwalat. We got Eternal Sleep. Oh, that's Napash Kaya. Yahweh Shemawasar. Most High Christ. Black Mike. We got who else we got? Halak. Napash Rahab checking in. We got Azara from Jackson, Mississippi. And we got Higher Call checking in. Shalom Lord Christ. Shalom Lord Christ. All right. Anybody got any questions so far? I want to slow it down a little bit. You got any questions for me, Marshall? Any questions in the chat at all? No questions. So y'all still think what's his phrase? Al Capone was running things, right? Y'all think they were still running everything, right? Where you at, Eli Cohen? Boom. The spy who saved Israel. Good night. Eli Cohen, the infiltration, posing as Kamel Amin Tabet, a wealthy Syrian businessman. Cohen infiltrated the highest levels of the Syrian government. He became the chief advisor to the Minister of Defense. The eucalyptus tree. He convinced the Syrian army to plant eucalyptus trees next to every bunker on the Golan Heights to shade the soldiers. In 1967, the Israeli Air Force used these trees as perfect targeting markers. So they blew him the hell up. Let's see here. Soviet intelligence tracked his radio signal. He was arrested, tortured, and publicly hanged in Marjet Square on May 18th, 1965. His body has never been returned back to Israel. Most High Christ. Next one. The Israeli Mafia, the landscape. Today, Israel is home to 16 organized crime families. And you know how big Israel is? About the size of New Jersey. And you got 16 organized crime families, right? They are the modern descendants of the Pale settlement diaspora, often led by Russian Jewish immigrants who brought their networks with them. The Abigail family, based in Tel Aviv, the Abigail organization became a global player in ecstasy trafficking to the United States. In 2022, Barzhikat, the exact Abigail, was sentenced to 3 life terms for murder and drug crimes. The Russia connection. Israeli mob maintains deep ties to the Brighton Beach Mafia in New York and the syndicates in Moscow. There's a triangle trade of money, drugs, and influence. Said U.S. Embassy cable said the promised land of organized crime. That's what Israel is. That's probably why they want to expand their borders into all the other countries so they can get more of their criminals in there. They ain't got no space for all their criminals, so they gotta get some more space. You heard the Greater Israel? They're trying to get more. They're trying to take over more of that land mass over there, so they can have more of that be Israel's borders. Go ahead. So boom, the global network. You see it go from American Jewish mob, syndicate, Italian mafia. Goes on to Purple Gang, Whiskey Supply, Chicago outfit, Haganah on the side, all of that, right? Go to the next one. Boom. Should be saved beyond the pale. Boom. We're almost done, y'all. It was 8:35. Beyond the pale. Sephardic Mizrahi crime family. The Abigail family. They in Morocco. Ecstasy Kings, based in Israel, but with roots in Morocco. They control a massive global ecstasy trafficking network, smuggling millions of pills into the U.S., linked with the assassination of rival mobsters with anti-tank missiles. I believe that they were, you remember when they had in the early 2000s, all the ecstasy that came in? All that ecstasy that came in, that was through Israel. I can't recall if it's through the Abigail family or not, but Israel they were behind all of the smuggling that came in the early 2000s of ecstasy. The Alperon family, the Enforcers, traditional clan-based organization in Israel, known for bottle recycling rackets, a multi-million-dollar industry, and brutal street enforcement. Don Yaakov Alperon was killed by a car bomb in 2008. The Guarini brothers, the French connection, Antoine and Bartholomew Guarini ran the Marseille underworld. Through Corsican, they had deep ties to Jewish and financiers in Meyer Lansky's money laundering network. Go ahead. French connection, the logistics. Raw opium from Turkey was shipped to Marseille, France, where Corsican chemists refined it into high-grade heroin, then smuggled it to New York City. The Jewish role. While the Corsicans handled the chemistry, Jewish mobsters handled the finance. Meyer Lansky used Swiss and Israeli banks to launder the massive profits, ensuring the pipeline could operate globally. So he used Israel banks and Swiss banks to launder money. So you see raw turkey, raw opium, Marseille, refining labs, New York, distribution, Swiss banks, Israeli banks too, for all the money laundering. The legacy. Next slide. All right, the Jewish mob story is a story of displacement, survival, and adaptation. So, now you're trying to make them seem like they were, they had to do this. But when you say black man, he had to sell drugs or whatever to put food on his family table. Nah, you still a criminal, right? But here they try to make them out like they only did this because they had to survive, right? So you say they produce criminal networks on every continent. That seemed like to me, that seemed like they did this on purpose. This doesn't really seem like an accident because black people don't have criminal networks on every continent, right? That all work together, that send money to each other, that send drugs to each other. This seemed like this done on purpose to me, right? Some of these criminals built empires of vice. Others help build a nation. The legacy is complex, dark, and undeniable. All right, go to the next slide. Last one. Go ahead.
What I thought I saw what was he connected to?
Oh, he's connected to Mossad.
So he connected to Mossad.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can still see you still see the inner workings and outer workings to that, but it's so much of a government cover up. Like we found out it's all different nations involved in that thing, man. So I mean, what you bringing out is heavy because it makes all the connection together. And like you say, you can't see it here. You can see it in the news with these Epstein files, and they're trying to hide everything, and that's a big cover up in itself. You know what I'm saying? So.
And it's not just the cover up of everything. Like, okay, let me try to explain to you. Okay, the Epstein files is part of having data on people. Like, who was the guy Hoover that started the FBI? Mm-hmm. He was a raging homosexual. He was a raging homosexual, right? They were able to keep him to play ball with them because they knew that he was a homosexual. Their thing is to get intel on people so that they can make them bend to their need.
So, so pretty much like blackmailing everybody.
Correct. They blackmail everybody. So this is what they even do to this day. There's other rings that they have. There's other Epsteins. Epstein is just the leaf of a big tree. Even like the scripture says. Remember you said about the cedar, and there's a mother nature. That's Epstein, one leaf and one limb of the one limb. This is a whole global network. We will probably never even know half of the names that are involved. Because you know why you won't know half the names? And one big reason why? They change their names. When they go to different places, they change their name. Just look at Jack Ruby, right? The person that shot Oswald, the one that they said that killed JFK. His name is Jacob Rubenstein. So every time they go to a different country, they change their name. Look at Bibi Netanyahu. That's not his name.
Netanyahu is his name?
No, he changed his name. Look at Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Yeah, he had about four different names, I think. They do that so you can't track them. That's why you don't know who they really are. A lot of different names. Sloan could be Jewish. There's a bunch of they just go somewhere, they'll just assimilate in, change their names. You don't even know. Like there's Christopher Columbus. Mm-hmm. There's a chance he was Jewish because if you can't find, from what I've seen in research, I did a little research. I'm not gonna say I did a ton of research, but you can't find because his name isn't Columbus, right? It's Cologne. It's Cristobal Colon. You can't find any other Colognes until he comes. You can't find his family, right? And at this time, people was mass converting over to, being a Christian. And he came from a group. He came from where Jewish people were. Like, they'll be in like little places, little areas. He came from that area. But just nothing just saying 100% he was Jewish. But there's a very good possibility he was even Jewish. Because like I said, they go around changing their names. They'll change the name to the new place they're at. Wherever they go to, a lot of different let me see if I can find where I was looking up some of the names. So like you'll look at all of like they'll just change their name. So like that's why it's so hard to like just track them. So let me see. Let me see if I can do it.
You don't slide, sir.
You can read that. Can you read that last one for me real quick?
The last slide say the reckoning. The Jewish mob story forces us to hold two truths simultaneously. These men were ruthless criminals who murdered and extorted. Yet these same men fought Nazis in the streets and smuggled weapons to build a nation. The Pale of Settlement created desperate people. Some became scholars, some became doctors, and some became gangsters.
There you go. So you look at that. They fought Nazis, but they the ones that started all of that because he was starting to burn. You know, he was burning books, right? Talk about you heard a story about Hitler burning books, right? The Nazis burning books. Mm-hmm. You know what books he was burning? He was burning books on basically what's the term? Degenerate sexual behavior.
What's that again?
Degenerate sexual behavior, sexual deviancy, transsexualism. That's the books they were burning. You thought they were burning like a history book, you know, or medical books. Nah, they was burning nasty stuff. Yep. So just some of the names: Goldstein, they changed it to Gold, Goldberg to be Berg or Gold, Rosenberg, Rosenfield, they changed it to Rose, Silverstein be Silver, Green, Fine, Wayne is another one. So Rosenbaum, they changed it to Rose Tree or Rose, Bloom, Greenwood, White, from Weiss, Schwartz to Black. Because you know swarthy meant black, so they said they were swarthy, they were black. So Horowitz, Howard, Levin, Levine, Abrams, Jacobs, Robbins, Zukowski, the Zuckerberg, you know, Kowalski, Cole, Novikov, Novak, Wansau changed to Warner. Like I think the Warner brothers was Jewish. Erskowitz, Irving. Let's go to Irving. Kaminsky, K. Davidovich, Davis. So it's a bunch of different names. They'll change their names. They'll take the Stein or the Berg, translated to English, and they'll go with that. They drop the Slavic Ski or Vich. So, you know, they will do all of that. It's just to give y'all a couple names. They changed their names, but that's just America. I can look up, like I will look. Now go to the ones that change to Italy or Italian names. So you look up, they changed their names, so you can't keep up with them. They at one spot, they one people over here, and you go over here, they're a whole nother person. Leon, Romano, Bergamo, Berganames, Rossi, Rosso, Nero, Neri, Benocci, Verdi, white, black, red, green, Italian, Bianchi, Neri, Rossi, Verdi. So you start looking at them. Like Meyer Lansky, he was born Meyer Sujajansky. He changed it to Meyer Lansky. So, yep. Just to give y'all a few. So they changed the name, so it's hard to keep up with them. That's why you can't keep track of them because of You know, they changed their name. Just think, every time you go somewhere, you go change your name. You go move to Houston, and you change your name. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep up with them. Let's see if anybody say anything in the chat yet.
We got Elder Charles. He said exit class.
The water, bro. The water. That was it. You got any?
Besides check in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Already got higher call. Sorry, went down higher call.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got any questions? Last call for questions. Last call for questions. All right. With that, pass the class over to priest and officer 500 my shot. You gonna turn it over? You can turn it to you.
All right, get that priest and prophet another powerful hand. You know what I'm saying? It was a heavy class. Getting to that, this is the ISUPK security announcement. The ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother and sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Ma'ashera means 10th in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming Holy Convocation is the Lord's 57th annual Passover in Houston, Texas, April 4th. So it's coming soon. Remind Akim and Akwat to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we'll give one courtesy salute to the brother, to the teacher, sir.
To the teacher.
To the teacher. Give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat.
And what we said in the Hebrew is
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah.
Bless you.
Bless you. So like hands down. We'll give one courtesy salute to the sisters online. Men of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Taba Hashem Yahweh Shah.
And what we said in the Hebrew is, may the Lord watch over you in the name of Christ. Yajmatai means hands down, class dismissed.
Hey, Shalom, Lord Christ. It's Officer 5000 Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm here to invite you, Blacks, Hispanic, and Native American Indian people, to the ISUPK 57th Annual Passover, hosted by Commanding General Yohana, the leader of this nation, Saturday, April 4th, at the BH Ranch, Houston, Texas. Shalom. Be there.